Um, Here's another part of the series of showing some of the bottles that I've dug over the years. Many of these bottles I've dug 30 years ago, and this was probably about, I'd say about 20 years ago. Some of these bottles were dug 30. So let me start out with some interesting ones. Here's one that's pretty well known in the bottle world, and it's a Dr. Crooks. And it is famous wine of tar. If you can see that, that is a famous wine of tar bottle. Now, Crook comes from Dayton, Ohio, and he went into business probably around the late 1850s. Became popular during the Civil War. He went into business with the Gump brothers, but they, when he died in 1875, I believe he died. Crook did, and his partner sold to the Parker Drug Company, which is pretty much in business today. Crook was this was a remedy for consumption and lung problems. Obviously, he didn't probably take his own medicine. He died at a very rarely early age. Let's see, Dr. Hayden. Now, Hayden is famous for a woman's cramp medicine. This bottle goes back to about the 1880s. And he was famous for developing that type of medicine, and it morphed into other chemical companies eventually. This bottle goes back to 1880s, and it was probably and his Hayden, let's see, I don't remember where he comes from. I think it's New England, pretty much. Another bottle that you might come across is the 1920s, 17 to 1940s. This is the F.W. Fitch shampoo and personal hygiene products out of Des Moines, Iowa. You got an early Illinois I in a circle. That's 1920s. Will surely tell you that year that bottle was made. And this is a famous company. They went out of business right after World War II. Another really popular, easy to find a lot of times is the Wyeth bottle. Let me wipe this off a little bit. John Wyeth and his made a lot of medicine out of Philadelphia. He started way back in the 1850s and became popular during the Civil War. He supplied Union troops with medicine. One thing about the Wyeth company is they developed the capsule. The compressed pill that we know today. One of their employees actually invented a machine to compress compounds into pill form, so that made them very famous. And they went on to be bought off by a lot of different companies. This bottle goes back to about the 1880s, 90s probably. Wyeth is famous for their Wyeth eye medicine in a blue bottle with an eye dose cap. You'll find them pretty common. Let's see, here's another common bottle, Rumford's Chemical. Rumford goes back, way back to the 1850s. The guy who created this bottle, and this company actually, this bottle goes back all the way up until about 1900. After that, they dropped this style of bottle. I think they made a few in machine made, but it was in a light aqua, but this bottle is probably, it looks like an 1880s version. Very common in Victorian dumps. Big distribution out of Rhode Island is where they started, but they had manufacturing in New Jersey and New York. They were pretty popular. These flasks, this is a strap-sided honest measure flask. Common design. This bottle here is a pretty good size, good example of a strap side with the embossing honest measure, which is uncommon. This one here, Union Oval, this bottle here is a Union Oval, and it's a little beat up, but warranted full pint. Popular in New England, this style, and it would have had that same design on that. Let me think. Let me look at here. Oh, Dr. Peter Farney from Chicago. This bottle is comes in very. This guy was he produced a whole bunch of stuff. This one is Peter. It has the Hoboco medicine in it, and he produced a lot of different medicines, and his company morphed into a lot of Pfizer is part of what was once the Peter Farney company, and this bottle is a machine made. They go all the way back to they go from 1880s, 90s, all the way to 1940s. This style you could see even find in Screw Cap. He made dozens of these bottles. They're very common, but it's a cool looking bottle. It just is, it's only collectible to many beginners who find it interesting. These are a lot of bottles that have a common background. Now, Hayden whiskey, this is another bottle that is made by, looks like it's the Illinois Glass Company. It's a machine made, so it's probably 1912 to about 1920. They were popular. It came from Troy, Ohio, and the offices still stand, and so does the actual factory in Troy. This is a fairly common one. They have the quart size, machine made, maybe not as common as the blown in the mold. And I have an amber 1 quart. They have another one that has a scallop design. Pretty prolific in their bottle styles. They did make whiskey though. That was their main thing. Let's see. Here's an interesting bottle. Old Daughertys with a harp and a harpy there, and this is a whiskey called a Prohibition whiskey, popular in the 1920s. They were imported, and this one doesn't have a mark on it, but this was usually the Dominion Glass Works in Canada. Ontario made this, and you can see it's pretty ornate, and these are one of my favorite kind of flasks. Always machine made, but they made dozens of different styles. They were pumped in the United States by the thousands, and once in a while they can show up. This is a particularly nice example of that type of bottle. Old Daughertys whiskey. Let's see, one more here. Let's show you. I guess. Oh, Undertaker Supply. This is another Owens company, and it's out of Chicago. And these are Undertaker. These are usually supplied with formaldehyde. Generally, they use that to pump into the corpses. Just say to be calm, just to be nice about it. And these are very popular. A lot of people, these style. I have different types. I have a lot of these type of Undertaker bottles. One more. Let's get one more here. Okay, and the last one, old Peep ammonia, a machine-made bottle. I'm not quite sure where it came out. It was a national brand at one point. This is probably 30s or 40s. You'll see them like this, a machine-made bottle. Interested in not so much bottle collectors as I would say people who are into nostalgia, and it isn't much of a bottle to collect, but it's interesting. I like the name Peep. So here's some more bottles that most of these bottles were made by the Owens company, or the Illinois Glass Company, before it became Owens. When you see a diamond with a number on it, that usually lends from probably the 1920s all the way to the maybe 1930, when you end up with where did I just see that standard Owens there's a standard Owens with the I and the O in it. Must be this one. No, it's this one. There's the I. That is a definitely 1920s to 29, I believe they kept that. So there you have it for now. The old collection of, you come across these bottles, they're not that rare. Wine of tar could probably be very rare. That's in 1880s for sure. That goes back way back. He went out of business pretty much by 1900. There you have it for now. And have fun. Talk to you later.